So we've got the first real life event again with some of the recent Springfest news that we've been getting. We've been getting quite a few waves of that, and I'm pretty excited. Last time I've been to one would have been January 2020 Worlds, so it's been like over 2 years now since then. And I guess currently it's looking like they are not as worried about the pandemic disrupting events, so that's why they've gone as far as planning these out now. And we will get more information. They did say there's going to be more. I know some people are a bit worried that they're not going to have events because there has been like sort of half-filled information. I think we just have to kind of wait out in those cases. Like Europe, we're quite fortunate. We've got quite a lot already that have been announced, and we've got London in the UK. We've got Antwerp, Belgium, and we've got also France. We have Germany. We have newly added Hungary for the first time, Budapest does, and we've got also Spain, and that would be like the first in some years that they've had a nationals there. So really cool that that Hungary's got one and Spain's returning, and I'm sure like there's people that have been wanting that for a long time. It's not on nationals, it's not one that you qualify for worlds with, but it's the fact that you've now got a physical event of some sort that could spell out some potential for later on. Like the fact that this is actually happening kind of shows that I think Bushiroad really wants to try and expand like the offerings as well to the players. So let's just wait and watch how this all plays out. I know America, there's definitely still got to be more because there's a lot of states, and Asia Oceania, oh yeah, definitely, absolutely a lot more. But one thing that I find so exciting is that they've announced premium in every place. So back when V first started, unfortunately Europe got the short straw here. We only had 2 events. I don't know how many of you guys actually know about this. We only had 2 premium events in Europe, UK and France. So we've had a total of 6 people taking part at Worlds versus many people from the Americas and loads of people from Asia Oceania. So we were very underrepresented, and it just felt so weird as a environment, I guess. Like that year of Worlds was so strange to play in. Actually, even more strange, I had 2 free wins because no one showed up, but didn't really help because the tiebreakers just sabotaged my ability to get top 8 anyway. So I'd rather work for those wins. It was a weird year, but the fact that they've actually now put premium in every place. Now it's Springfest, it's not nationals, you're not qualifying for Worlds with this, but this shows so much potential. Like the fact that they've actually done this, that they've actually given back what we wanted from the start, for any of us like eternal format enjoyers who want to be able to play with the old decks we've been collecting and playing with. Like some of us, we're into Vanguard because Vanguard kind of has tried to give better value for money to players. Like they weren't known for about 7 years for ban lists and for rotations and stuff. Like they kind of shied away from it so much that it looked like a safe game to collect decks in and hold on to decks and things, especially G-Era, by the way, or the Legacy revival that they did back then. So yeah, premium is definitely like for someone who just wants to still be able to experience the 7 years that the game started. It really mattered to us. Obviously, when V started, it felt like an existential crisis. So we did have to actually go and convince people to play the format. So I was pretty vocal when it started. I've had to kind of debunk some of the kind of fears or misinformation that were jeopardizing the format. Thankfully, I don't really have to get involved anymore. I really like doing it. It just wasn't good for my health. Like I don't really want to be going around shilling for anything really, to be honest. It's just, I just thought it was way too serious, and obviously that passion kind of reflected too much. So I'm just glad that thanks like the help of various people in the community, like we've encouraged people to try out premium, even the new players. Like one of the issues we had, the reason why it's such an existential threat is because people, like stores would have been more inclined to run V standard tournaments because they would have assumed, oh, well, this is new product that's clearly meant to phase out premium, and this is also going to help us for sales for V, so let's only run standard. And then we had the other issue, which would have been that it tended to be, I've noticed that premium players are more willing to play V, but there are these players who would only play V but never touch premium. So in terms of attendance numbers, well, if you're someone who's trying to make the most of your venue, which one are you going to run? Which one's the safest? You go for V, so you just run it all day, every day, that there's any Vanguard events. So premium pretty much got the shaft because it's inherently seen as the smaller community, since it doesn't have the specialized supported product only once a year. Yes, you can play V product in premium, but it's not being perceived that way. It's not being perceived as like, it's not, there isn't really as much a link being made to the sales. So from a financial standpoint, they're making the kind of judgment call of deprioritizing it, basically, if that makes any sense. So we did have the disadvantage, and fortunately premium has weathered the storm, and even like with the 3 format split now, it seems like it's actually got a bit more of a boost. I guess like I've seen more people, like I used to just see too much standard around me, in my case. It might be the case of some of you guys out there, but for us, I've noticed that more people have started getting into premium than before. And like obviously when V Premium became a thing and it got announced, it encouraged people who played V to try out premium. And then furthermore, we had Revival selection as well, which is in my opinion a more better way of trying to bring out cards that people might have missed, especially for certain clans like Spike Brothers, Great Nature, Alfred the deck, because Alfred had some double rares that were hard to source as well, I've heard. Like LaRousse, for example, got a reprint. So there are some cards that were great for V era players to try and dabble into premium, and that really helped. So we've had more people, and we've got premium by the way for every event. So thankfully now it's starting to look like, okay, they're serious about running premium events. Now I know there is concern. I've seen, like, obviously I've been talking to my teammates about this as well, and some other friends as well. There is this idea that premium might suffer and turn out, and you know it's very right to be worried about it because of the history we've had in recent years. At the same time, I actually, and I say this as quite the worry wall, because I'm definitely like, I think a lot of people who know me know that I was like very like supportive of premium, like really kind of worried about dying, and I'm actually not sure like what I think, because I don't know how you can really figure out like how the premium numbers would turn out, because there's so many factors. We've been in a pandemic for like over 2 years. So much has changed. So much product has come out. There's now 3 formats that might have changed people's attitudes towards things. There's also just the formation of teams and the network effects, like Maxime, I'm sure more infamously mentioned as well, and that is obviously a factor. But then we don't actually know what the individuals in those network effects would cause, because like, yeah, you can have more D players and they pull the other guy from premium to D, but it can also happen vice versa, or it can even be the case that maybe there might happen to be more teams where people are more on the same page. Like maybe when people form their teams, they may have actually been more inclined to join with like-minded people, and by that I mean like people who have more similar preferences. So I think in a lot of people's minds, they may have actually been thinking about, what if we have 3 formats? What would we do? And so I think that might have been a factor for some people. I don't know to what extent, but if that's the case, maybe people might happen to have future-proofed their team picks to better join premium. Maybe. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. There's like a lot of factors at play, and I think it could really go either way. Like, it was more predictable to say premium would suffer in the past, but because we've not had real life events for a while, and BRO and Springfest Online, in my opinion, aren't really good indicators, because anyone can attend them from online. It's not really something that requires travel, and because of that, you got different kinds of audiences in a way, to some extent. Like, it's not necessarily going to represent like everybody. It's like saying, like, you know, what people say on Twitter represents what the Vanguard community is. No, it doesn't, because Twitter's an echo chamber, but you know, you have to be a bit careful how you sample and try to kind of like reflect that on the entire community, because I don't think it's a really good indicator. Like if like I think people feel differently about different things at different times and with different platforms. So I think the margin of error for any prediction right now that people make is going to be much larger than any that I think people would predict for usually in usual times, because we're just in a very strange circumstance. So I would say like I definitely want to make a play that if things do go south of premium, because that is the concern people have, because of D, that Bushiroad and organizers and anybody who's like kind of trying to test the waters or just kind of, or well, whatever kind of thing they're trying to learn really, like not to kind of look at this and think that premium is a failure or all these things, because I think you have to kind of be analytical, and there's just so much like factors. I think just be willing to try things again or try things differently next time. Just don't write it off is all. And I think I only said it because we have gone through kind of a bit of hell for like the last 5 years or so, where we've just been kind of constantly worried about premium survival. So yeah, just for our own mental sanities, just please don't reflect that in a negative way if premium doesn't do it as well as you guys wanted to. As for the players, a plea for them, we are the players, so we do make up the game. Just like with any other TCG, if you don't have players, the game doesn't run. So for anyone that can make it and can try to pick premium over D, just put your, you know, as they say, like just vote in a way. It's sort of like voting. It's sort of like putting your money in your mouth. If you can do it, then you know, just go for the premium events and show that you're able to they just show them that yeah, there is interest in premium. We do exist, and hopefully then we can give it like enough numbers so it can actually run as a proper event, and then hopefully that kind of assuages people's worries about you know, the whole like, oh, there's just few players in premium, and there's just too many in D, and then premium just becomes a joke and all that stuff. So yeah, we just have to try and counterbalance it. I think like it's up to us. At the end of the day, we are the ones who can try to influence it, but by attending them. But the thing is, I get it. Like I'm not going to satisfy everyone with this answer, because like the real reality is we have 3 formats. It's going to disappoint people no matter what we do with this, because with 3 formats, you're going to have X and Y clash. Like if we had premium clash with something else or D clash with something else, then another group of people will be less happy and so on. Like I'm not sure like how you can really perfectly balance this. I think we have too little to go on right now for Bushiroad to actually kind of have the kind of master formula for this right now, unfortunately. So. And then even if we had 2 weekends, I'm sure people would have complained even about 2 weekends, because let's be real, some people would just be annoyed that they have to travel twice because their preferred events happen to be separated to different weekends. So there is that as well. So it's all complex. There's definitely a lot of complexity to how these events are, how they're trying to handle it. Like honestly, like I think I would feel pretty much a bit worried if I was trying to like trying to like kind of figure out how to best balance it. It's really challenging. And I don't think any of us really have the real answer, because there just isn't enough to go off of. So that's pretty much how I feel about it anyway. We'll see how things go, and hopefully we'll get a bit more trends as we get more events, and then that way that'll probably help Bushiroad with however they want to plan things in the future when they look at data. But obviously don't look at premium's failure as a reason to scrap it, and I don't think they will, because they're running in every place. Like they could have just been selective of where they're running it. So I think they are serious about running premium, so I think they will. I don't think they'll give up on it just like that. I think the attitudes have changed a bit from back then. So let's just see how it goes, really. And I look forward to seeing you guys at these events. I'm not going to see everyone because obviously different regions. Maybe I might look to travel to America. We'll see. We'll see what kind of place get announced. There is one place in particular I've always kind of wanted to go on holiday to. So maybe I'll make a plan to coincide that with my team league visit, because I do have a few people actually that I've been in talks with about forming a team to go there. So could happen. If that happens, I'd love to kind of meet up with some of you guys who I haven't seen in a while, as well as some new players who haven't actually had the chance to meet in real life. So that'll be cool as well. Pretty much that. Very excited. I will say, like, if Premium does work out with the D Clash, for me personally, I'm actually more in the mood to play Premium v Premium, but that's just me. Like, I know everyone's got a different itch right now. Everyone's kind of enjoying different decks. Like, I think right now, I mean, I did sort of have a bit more for interest in D, but I feel it's just a bit too high rolly for me. I said that after like V era, where I've said the same thing, but I think those Hill Guardians have kind of helped a bit now with making the V format feel less high rolly. Like, it did make quite a difference, if anything. So that's just kind of me though, and I do have a max rarity Astropower deck, so that gives me room to play that deck because I love playing with that blink. That's what I've been doing for like Bushiroad Springfest Online and BRO. I just like throwing that thing out. It's just fun. I spend quite a fortune on it, and I'm going to get the most value as I can from that. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys, and until then, take care. Bye.